So I've written a letter to the select board, which they really just received this afternoon. And it is to request the select board to amend or to repeal Chapter 8, Section 5, which is the sale of marijuana in the town of Manchester. I'm hoping you all got a chance to read the letter, so I don't have to read through it specifically. But I'm here because, and I'll just do a short story. I'm probably the unexpected type of person to ask for this request, but I have suffered from a female medical issue, to be honest, to TMI, my entire life. And with the legalization of growing your own marijuana for personal use, I decided that I'd give it a try, and also determined very quickly that I do not like to smoke anything. So I have come up with a product that is actually a coconut oil salve that has THC. It is above the CBD approved level by quite a bit, actually. And it has completely changed my life, completely. I'm an executive here in town. I worked between Orvis and the Vermont Country Store for 20 years. I've been in town for 26 years, and I've spent my entire life arranging my travel and my meetings and everything else with life around this issue that I have. And this salve has actually saved me. And I've come up with this product through this time of COVID, where I'm finally home for a few minutes instead of at the office all of the time, with a little bit of spare time to take care of myself and my family. So I reached out to Anita, actually, to find out if this was something that the town would actually want to opt in to do the sale, have sales here in Manchester of cannabis. And she quickly responded, and I thank everybody who's responded to me over the last couple of days. And she quickly responded that we actually have an ordinance in our town that prevents the sales or distribution of marijuana. So in my letter, I've kind of spelled out the two steps that the town would have to be willing to do. One would be to amend or repeal the town ordinance for me to have a business where I can sell my product. And then the second thing would be that each town has to actually opt in to the state law allowing cannabis sales in their town. So it's a two-step process. That opt-in actually has to also be done by Australian ballot, which would, of course, be something that we would want to have on the town meeting time, the same as the rec, the trail, the same issue. It's can you get it in time to have it this town meeting? I'm not sure how much further I need to.
So, Lori, just so the board knows, so the ordinance says that it's prohibited from distributing or selling marijuana in the town of Manchester. So, yes. The statute that we use comes from the federal. Actually, Janet, through some research work that she did years ago, is actually really well versed on the whole issue. Hemp is less than 0.3% as a dry weight of THC. So we talk about CBD and then THC. THC is the marijuana. If it's under that amount, you can sell hemp. If it's over that amount, the federal government calls it marijuana, which was defined in the ordinance. So I'm just saying, for the board's thinking, there's a specific definition about marijuana, and we've talked back and forth, and your product is over that 0.3%.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know, Janet probably knows, but I don't know what the upper levels of today's marijuana as it's grown is. Janet, do you know what the upper limits are for the, the stuff that's available today is much different than what was available to my parents in the 60s.
Yeah.
Or to you, John.
Yeah. Actually, the state is actually going to limit the cap of that percentage. Vermont is going to limit it much lower than other states have, because product can be in the 60% range. I think Vermont is going to be capped at 30. And they're still working on the legislation with all of those details, but it's going to be a lower cap.
So we're going to have like the what do they call it, the 2.3 beer out in Colorado that was available. Was sort of like the
30% is a large percentage of THC.
Yeah, 60.
Yes.
So
For the record, my product has about 10%. So I am over the 3.
Yep.
But when it's I donated to the rescue squad for the past 2 years, just in case I had to call them in the middle of the night and get my free ride. That's how bad it is. So for something to have completely changed my life, I can't help but to share it. And so there's many different levels of how the town, could help me do that. It doesn't have, I don't actually want to open a store per se. I mean, I could give you a little bit more information about some thoughts that I have. Through COVID, there are lots of products that are being delivered to people. So to me, that's a nice confidential, private way to obtain product is to have it delivered to your doorstep. So that can be done via having a website, people placing orders, and you literally deliver it. It's also been brought up in some different webinars that I've been in with people throughout the state that it could be a stand at the farmer's market, which is also something that I would be extremely comfortable in doing. I don't intend to open a storefront. However, I did stop by our local CBD shop in town to find out where she stood. I did not speak to the owner directly, but they are definitely interested in selling products in their store when more information comes from the state on how they would do so. They didn't quite.
Anyways, Lori, what would your the scope of your company be as far as geographic area? You've got a website, you're going to ship product. Are we talking about locally, statewide? What would the scope be?
Sure. So my plan would be that a delivery service would be done locally, and that I would also be able to wholesale the product across the state to different stores.
Okay. So all of the examples that you spoke of, including the farmer's market and allowing it to be sold in stores locally, none of that would be allowed under the select board's ordinances as they exist today. That therein lies the crux of your problem.
Yes.
But there's a larger component of this because of the state, because of the legislation that allows the sale of marijuana. If the town, if we the select board decided that this was something that we were going to do and we were going to change the ordinance, there's still another layer of governance that has to be addressed, and that's through a vote at town meeting.